Good morning! Kind of throwback. I haven't worn a sleeveless shirt in a minute. My hair's kind of standing up like it used to back in the day. Got the drone working. Been drinking water. And then that was a drink from the other day. But got my nanners over there. Coffee. Don't be looking at my... You pervs. I got a crazy story. So, you guys, if you watched the Crocker video all the way through, you saw at the end, we had to cut working shorter than what we wanted, but for good cause. I had to go get metal on the trailer. I had to drive and go pick it up. I had the craziest story with that. So, you guys saw it was a little bundle. It was 32 pieces of angle iron. And 16 feet long and 1.5 inch thick. So if you guys have ever lifted those, they're not the heaviest thing in the world, but they got some weight to it. Each one, I don't know how much they weigh, but they got some weight to it. So I show up to the place. I'm not going to say where. I don't want to bash the place. But we looked it up online. We found it. And I went, because Danielle was at work, I went and picked it up, and I got there, I had to park on the side of the building, and they're like, alright, we'll have someone come out and bring it to you here in a minute. I was like, alright, that sounds about fair, about right. There's nothing, you can't really go park up in the front and stuff. So I'm on the side, it's taking a minute, and I'm like, alright, cool, whatever, I'll just, I'll sit here a little bit longer. I'm a pretty patient person when it comes to that. I'm not going to go inside and be like, hey, it's been a minute. You bringing it out or what? So then I finally hear this forklift coming around. And I'm just sitting in the truck. And I look in the mirror and I see the forklift with, 16-foot pieces. And looks like they're all there. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is where the story gets interesting. And I jump out of the truck, and the guy's pulling up, and you could tell he's kind of iffy. And I'll try to paint the picture for you without being too direct. And I don't want anyone to take this offensive. It's just the best way I can describe the way this person is. I don't think this person voted for Trump, and I'm surprised they didn't have blue hair. I just leave it at that. They didn't look like they would work at a metal place, and I wasn't there to judge. I was just like, whatever, you work here, I don't care. You're bringing the metal up, let's load it up. And so I told them, all right, you can pull around the side, long ways with the trailer. You got your trailer this way. You got your long pieces. You want to lay them on top, this way. Common sense, right? And so you come around the side of the trailer, you come up, and you can load it that way. And we get lumber like this all the time, big old pieces. They come around, they put it on there, drop it, put it on there. It's easy to load that way. And we just got 32 pieces of angle iron, so we'll figure this out, right? So he pulls around, and I say, hey, just anywhere on the trailer. My thing is, I don't care if it's on one side of the trailer, the other side of the trailer, right in the middle. It's not enough weight to throw the trailer off. It can't be back heavy or front heavy. It's literally 16 foot long. It's a 16-foot trailer, and you really can't mess it up. So I say, just put it anywhere on the trailer, and I'll be good with that. And he said, you sure? Just anywhere on the trailer? And I said, yeah, just wherever. He said, all right, let me try this. So at that point, the metal was right next to the trailer. So the trailer's like long ways, and he pulled up, and the metal is right here. So he said, all right, let me try this. So he backs up, and then out of nowhere, he just floors it, smashes the gas pedal on the forklift, rides at the trailer as fast as he could, and then slams the brakes. Just he's here, and then he just backs up. He said, let me try this. And then slams the brakes before hitting the trailer, so the metal would fly off the front of the forks, because there's forks, and the metal's like this, and he goes, and his theory is, I'm gonna make it slide off the front and fall down on the trailer, which, by the way, it was like 3 feet up in the air when he did it. Not right above the rails of the trailer, not anything like that, like 3 feet off the ground. And he floors it, and then slams the brakes, and it goes sliding, and all the 32 pieces that are 16 feet long metal, it's pretty heavy, they're saran wrapped together in 3 sections, which just holds it in a bundle, but isn't going to hold it all together. And so he slams the brakes, it flies off part of it, one side, the back of the trailer, it lands on the back of the trailer, and then because it's saran wrapped, it busts open, and then it's still hanging on the top of the forklift in the front, and you got 32 pieces that just went and went all over the trailer, but not the other part still on the forklift. It looked like you got straws, a pack of straws, and then you threw it on a table. That's how it looked. That's how it was stacked. That's how it was just there. And my eyes were just like, did he really just do this? And then he looks at me like, that is not how I expected this to go. What did you think was going to happen? We spent a good amount of money on the metal. It's not cheap. And he just floored the forklift, slammed the brakes, thought it was going to slide off and fall perfectly on the trailer. And now the whole back of the trailer is full of metal all spread out, and then the rest of it still clumped up on top of the forklift. So then I'm like, hey, just push it forward, let it fall on the trailer. I'm good with that. I wasn't about to get into any worse of a situation. And then so he gets off the forklift and tries to push the metal. You ain't pushing the metal. That's why you got a forklift, because you couldn't lift them. So he's trying to push the metal and he can't. And I'm standing there like, oh my gosh. Normally, I normally let people do their own thing. I never step in, and I don't try to bird dog and tell people how to work or whatever. I try to just step back, let them do it. And I said, hey, how about this? Just drive forward with the forklift and lean it down so it falls off. And so he did that, and it just fell on the trailer, the front of my trailer, the top of the trailer. It's hanging on the bottom like this when the trailer's down here, and it just spread out. And I said, that's good. He said, are you sure that's good? I said, yeah, anywhere on the trailer, it's good. We don't need to mess with it anymore. He said, are you sure? And I said, I'm positive. I got it from here. And so he rode the forklift off, and you could tell he was terrified. He probably thought I was going to go in there and chew him out. He said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was going to be that way. I didn't think it was going to come off like that. So then I had to sit there, and it took me quite a while to have to first, because you can't just go move them. They're all stuck together in weird ways. And again, it's 16-foot pieces of metal, and they got enough weight to it, to each one, that it's not super easy to move. And so I sat there and I did that, and I stacked them all up nicely, put them on the trailer, and I wrapped them up. And then I saw him coming around the corner looking, probably thinking, is he going to come get me fired? Is he going to come tell them? And there's probably no cameras over there. I don't think he could get caught because I'm on the way far side of the building. And there's other businesses and stuff. So my mind was blown. And I had 2 thoughts with it. One, I just spent all this money on metal. Brand new metal from a metal place. And you, as the driver that works there, the forklift driver that has to deliver these things, you decided you're going to back up, floor it, slam the brakes, and let it fly off onto someone's trailer. So what if it would have broke the trailer? What if it would have dented or dinged the metal up, and the customer didn't want it anymore, or you messed the trailer up and now you have to pay for it. You might lose your job. You might, whatever. It could have gone terribly wrong. And then my other thought was, like I said in the beginning, and this is not bashing anyone, I'm just trying to paint a picture of who it was. He didn't look like he should be working at a metal shop. And my first thought was like, why are you working here? Dude, why are you working here? This is not clearly something that you're good at. This is clearly not something that you're probably qualified for. And then I just had an instant thought of, at least you're out here doing it. At least you're out here working. At least you're trying. I promise that kid will never do that again. He will never back up and slam the brakes and make it fly off in someone else's trailer. At least you would think. I feel like he learned a big lesson with that one. And he got really lucky that it was me that he did it to. You guys know we use and abuse our equipment. We have our stuff to use it. We do crazy stuff with our trailer. All that stuff. I'm not worried about my truck. I'm not worried about all that type of stuff. So I'm glad that it happened to me and not to somebody else, because it probably would have ended a lot different. And I'm proud of that guy for coming out and, one, working. And then two, working in a position that he probably didn't look very qualified to be in, but at least he's out there doing it. And the thing is, there's so many people out there that are qualified to do that job, but they're lazy and they don't want to work. They'd rather stay at home and collect money from the government or from disability or from, I guess kind of all the same thing, all that stuff, or just not work at all and mooch off of somebody else. If you ain't mooching off the government, you're mooching off someone else. And maybe that offends some people watching. I don't know. But my first thought was like, I cannot believe this happened. And the second thought was, good for you for at least getting out and getting a job, even if it's not something that you really wanted. At least you're out there working. At least you're out there doing what a good man should be doing, and working and trying to make money and provide. And I don't know if he's in a relationship. I don't know if he's single or whatever, but at least he's out there doing something and trying to be the best worker he can. You could tell he didn't do it to be stupid. You could tell he didn't do it to be like a younger guy to be funny. He did it because he truly thought, okay, the easiest way would be to just hit the brakes, let it slide off and fall in since it's heavy. He didn't know. And at least he tried. At least he got out there. At least he worked for it. At least he was thinking. It was a dumb idea, but at least he was trying to think of a way to figure it out. And again, I'm glad it happened to me because I can overlook those things. And the trailer's not going to get hurt more than I've already heard it and all that stuff. So I'm glad it happened to me, and I'm glad that he's out there working. It made a heck of a story. I told Danielle, and her mind was blown. We were laughing about it. And I hope that guy learned something from it. And I would much rather see that and deal with that, and have that happen over and over and over, rather than seeing someone lazy not working for something, seeing someone mooching off someone else. And we live in a world. One of my other neighbors stopped by. He's an older gentleman, and he's been stopping by lately. He's an old rancher, and he's gonna be 70 or 80. I don't remember what he said. I think coming up. His birthday's coming up. And he doesn't even know how to work a phone. He's asking me how to use his phone, all this stuff. And he was saying that his boy owns a place here in town that deals with animals and stuff, auctions. And he said, you just can't, he's up there working all the time. You can't find help these days. You can't find people to work these days. Or he said, you can't find good help. And it's the thing is, you can find help, but they don't want to find you. They don't want to come work. No one wants to work these days. No one wants to try. No one wants to put in the effort. Everyone has turned into this weird thing of, how can I take the easy way out? How can I just mooch long enough to get by? How can I get some free money? How can I get a free way? How can I get something from somebody with the least amount of effort? And nothing, and I mean nothing, drives me more crazy than laziness. And it just blows my mind that there's people like that in the world, especially grown men, that will mooch and not work hard. And then you have this young kid that looks like he never wanted to ever work in a metal factory, shop, whatever you want to call it. And he's out there driving a forklift, trying to deliver metal, and at least he's out there trying. At least he's out there doing. At least he's out there trying to do something different. Even if it's not something he really wants, he's out there doing it. And there's so many people out there that are so lazy and don't want to do anything. It drives me crazy. So is at first, as wild as my mind was blown, I was kind of a little upset. Then I had to redo all the metal and all that stuff. I thought, at least you're out there doing it when most people won't. And that's the thing. That's kind of, it's the same but different. Big dreams don't work for small-minded people. You can't have small-minded people and big dreams. If you have a big dream and you go talk to someone with a small mind, it's not going to make sense, and they're going to try to talk you out of it. Big dreams don't work with small-minded people. And if you're out there and say this guy, that was working the forklift, I don't think it's his big dream, but he had a dream to get a job and work. And I'm sure his friends maybe told him, you're going to work there, you're stupid. Well, guess what? He learned a really valuable lesson delivering my metal, and I don't think he's going to do it again. And then next time, he'll learn something else, and he'll get better. Next time, he'll learn something else and get better. Maybe his dream's to go off and do something, and people told him, you can never do that. And maybe this little forklift job that he did very poorly with me, maybe that showed him, I didn't know what I was doing, but now I learned something from it. And he could take that to go with his dream, whatever his dream may be, and be like, so many people told me I can't even do the forklift job, and I figured it out. So many people told me not to live out this dream, I'm going to figure it out. If I could do that, I could do this. And so many people out there are small-minded and don't understand a big dream. Big dreams don't work for small-minded people. And out here, we have such big dreams, and it's coming to fruition. That's a big word for you people that are small-minded. It's looking so good. I can actually look out the window, and it looks great. We're cleaning up. We're clearing up. We're getting stuff done. We're getting stuff accomplished. We're getting there where we want to be. There's nothing greater of an accomplishment for me. I'm going to try not to get emotional. That whenever Danielle leaves, and she's gone for a couple days, and we've been working on something, and she comes back, and it's done, and I did some more work, and she's just like, holy cow, pulling up, this looks so good. This looks so good. This is ours. To have someone that you care and love about have so much pride in what we've been working on, and having pride in something that I worked on, is the best feeling. And I've searched for that my whole life. I literally have. My entire life I've searched for that. And I finally found it. And that's how I know I'm going to marry the perfect person for me. And it feels so good to have pride in what we're doing, and knowing, okay, it's taken longer than we expected, but holy cow, it's looking good. Holy cow, we're very happy with it. Again, the old man that stopped by, he came back last time and said something about the barn, and he said, man, I gotta tell you, y'all did a damn good job on that barn. And he brought it up again, and I just said, thank you. I said, my fiance, she's a nurse, and I'm just a videographer, and we wanted to figure it out. And he said, oh, I know how much work it is. He's like, when I was younger, I used to build barns, and I gotta say, y'all did a heck of a job on that. And that was such a good feeling to know that this old rancher guy that used to build barns and has been running cattle his whole life saw our barn and thought it was nice and thought it was built very well and all of that. And that's a lot of pride that we take around here. And to have that, that's such a good feeling, and it's motivation, and it pushes us even more forward. And every time people, stopped the same gentleman before he left. He said, I just want to let y'all know, y'all have really done some good work out here, and y'all put in the work, and it looks good. It just feels so good. And I'm sure some people will be thinking I'm just making this up. I don't know the dude's name, but I know where he lives. You go talk to him. But it feels good when you work so hard for something and it's finally coming together and people could see the vision that you had the whole time. Whenever we were going to build the barn, Danielle and I just had the vision in our head. Y'all had no idea what it was gonna look like. When we had the vision for the grain bin and the deck, y'all had no idea what our vision was in our head, and the way we wanted the property to look, and the fencing, and just everything like that. It started with the vision in our head, and we had this big dream. And for anyone out there that doubted it, it's because they have a small mind. Big dreams don't work for small-minded people, and small-minded people just can't understand big dreams, and that's fine. And that's something that I had to learn over the years of my life is, if you have a big dream, so many people are going to tell you that it's stupid. So many people are going to tell you it's not going to work. It's only stupid and not going to work to those people because they're such small-minded people. They can't see outside their little box. They can't see the big picture. They can't see a dream. They think dreams are just dreams, but the way I live my life and Danielle lives hers, a dream is something we're going to make reality. It's only a dream because we see it in our head. Now let's make it reality. And I hope that kid that loaded the steel in the back of the trailer and did such a terrible job, I hope he learned from it. And I hope he used that as a learning lesson. And I hope he's figuring out, I may not know how to do something in life, but I kind of screwed that up, but it's okay. Because how do you have a huge comeback in life? You have to fail first. You can't have a massive comeback and a good story, a good comeback story, if you haven't failed first. How do you have a comeback if you haven't failed? And so I feel like this is Danielle and I's comeback. This is our big, our big thing that we're doing, and we're very excited, and it's coming out great, and we're working hard on it. It's going slower than expected, but it's a big comeback from where we've been. We've been through a lot. We had our ups and we've had our downs, and this is our comeback. And that's why I'm not ever scared to fail in life. I'm never scared to try something new. I'm never scared to try to take a dream and make it a reality, because if you fail, who cares? If you fail, you're still in the same position you were in before. I tell people that all the time. They want to quit their jobs that they hate. They hate their job. They've been at their job forever. They freaking hate it. And I'm like, well, why don't you quit your job and go live your dream? Well, I can't. Why? Well, I can't quit. What if I fail? Then you're going to go back to the same crappy job you already got. You already hate your life. You already hate your job. So isn't it worth the risk to quit your job to go after what you want? And if you don't make it, go back to the crappy job? They'll hire you back. You'd be in the same position. But most people are too scared to take that risk. Too many people are scared to leave something crappy because it's comfortable and they've done it for so long, to take the chance, to take the risk, to go and to do things and to go after the dream. So many people won't ever live out their dreams, and I will not be one of those people. And I've done some of the coolest things that I could ever do, and to some people it may be stupid, but to me, I've lived out dreams. I wanted to be in a band so bad and tour. We weren't the best band in the world, not by far, and we didn't play stadiums and anything, but I got to tour. I got to be in a band and tour the country and live on the road for months at a time with my band and my friends and live my dream. After that, because I was in the band, I watched all these bands on MTV, have these music videos. I went to their concerts. I went to all of it, and then I wanted to be a videographer and work with bands so I could stay in the music industry. And I picked up a camera and I taught myself. And the next thing I know, I'm working for a famous band that I used to watch on TV. Next thing I know, I'm going on tour with every big band there is that I ever watched. Next thing I know, I'm sitting on tour buses and hanging out with all the bands. Next thing I know, I'm backstage hanging out with the bands. Next thing I know, I have those band members' phone numbers in my phone. It's like my mind was blown. How did I go from from being a teenager, watching these people on MTV trying to learn their songs because I wanted to be in a band like them. The next thing I know, I'm actually friends with these people, living on tour buses, meeting all the other bands and hanging out with them every single day. It's wild. I'm not saying that I'm their best friend or anything like that, but to be this small country kid that graduated from a school with 40 kids, and then I wanted a dream, and it became reality. Next thing I know, I'm hanging out with all the bands that I grew up listening to. That was peak. That's what I wanted so bad, and I made it happen. And no one gave it to me. No one handed it to me. A lot of people told me it would never happen. A lot of people told me I was stupid when I first started saying, I'm going to do this. And they're like, that'll never work. You're wasting your time. I don't know why you're doing this. Those same people are the ones that wanted free tickets to go to the concerts. Those are the same people that, wanted the handout to get to the shows and all that stuff. Big dreams don't work for small-minded people, and I've got big dreams. And whenever I started the YouTube channel, I didn't know what it could become. I didn't know how to make money on it. I didn't know how to that it could be a real full-time career. Of course, YouTube is really turned into something a lot different than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't even know if YouTube's been around for 20 years. But whenever I first started, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a video every day, 365 days in a row for a year. Not many people do that. What's the worst case scenario? That I did videos every day for a year and it didn't take off. Who cares? I'll just go back to doing videos for other people. 7 years later, here I am, and been doing it full time. So big dreams don't work for small-minded people. Go after what you want, and if people are talking you down, their brain is just not big enough to see the big picture, not big enough to figure out the work it takes, and or they're just a coward in life, and they're scared of doing things, or it's like the people that will sit at home and not work and be lazy and mooch. Those people will never go live a big dream. Those people will never do anything. So go out there, live your dream, even if you're like the forklift driver and don't know what you're doing. Sometimes you got to fail to have a good comeback, and I wish I'll never probably see this person again. I might go buy more metal. They may not even be working there no more, but I hope that person learned a lesson that day, loading, and took that and learned from it, and then learned from something else, learned from something else, and become something great. So that's just where I'm at today. What a crazy story. But Danielle's working all weekend. I'm going to get some stuff done. You guys will see what I'm hoping to be a really awesome video for Monday. And after that, we got some stuff planned. And we are this close to getting our animals moved and everything finished in there. And we couldn't be any more excited. Then we're going to start on the tiny house, the shop, the garage, all that stuff. And I'm pumped.